Good morning or good afternoon, Tigers. Today we'll be taking notes on Quizzette 721. Make sure you write your last name, comma, first name, and you circle your class color. Number 1 on each day is just a distributive property. The only thing you have to be mindful of is that some of them have addition and some of them have subtraction. And we will also see that some of them are going to change. So let's rewrite the first one. It says find the sum equivalent to the product -6 times y minus 6. So I always rewrite it so that I have room to draw my arrows. Remember that when you're distributing a number, you draw your arrows. And in this case, I draw 2 arrows because there are 2 terms inside the parentheses. And the operation that goes between those arrows is multiplication. So -6 times y is -6y. And -6 times -6 is positive 36. That's my final answer. Number 2, it says factor 10x plus 45. Let me maximize that. So the first thing I'm going to do is list the factors of 10 and then list the factors of 45. So let's just say factors of 10 and then factors of 45. So factors just means numbers that I can multiply to get me 10. So the numbers I can multiply to get me 10 are 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. So that's 1, 2, 5, and then 10. Now let's list the factors of 45. 1 and 45. What's another factor of 45? I can't multiply 2 by anything. 3. Yeah, I can multiply 3 times 15. And then 4 times, no, I can't do 4. 5. 5 times 9. And then think of 6 times anything. Nope. 7 times anything. Nope. 8 times anything. Can that get me 45? No. And the next number would be 9. And there, you've already found all the factors once you hit the next number. Okay, so I just count to 10, and once I get to the next number, I stop there. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but I have all the factors listed. Now I'm going to find the factor that's in both of them. Let's see the factor that's in both of them. The biggest one. I see 5 here, and I see 5 here, and then I see 10 here, but I don't see 10 here. 10 cannot go into 45 evenly. So the greatest common factor is 5. So that's going to be what I have outside of my parentheses. So the whole goal of factoring is backwards, go ahead and write this, backwards distributive property. So I have 10x plus 45, and I'm going to do it backwards. So I'm going to take out a 5, and then I'm going to find what goes inside the parentheses. So I know that addition is between them, so I'm going to keep the addition. And I know that this term has an x in it, and this one doesn't. So this one has to have an x in it. Now I just have to find these blanks right here. These blanks. That's a number, and that's a number. 5 times what gets me this 10x over here? 5 times blank x gets me 10x. 5 times 2x gets me this 10x over here. Now, 5 times what gets me 45? 5 times 9 gets me 45. So now let's double check our work. We should get the original answer of 10x equals 45. What's 5 times 2x? 10x. And what's 5 times 9? 45. Keep the plus. Is this equal to what they gave us? Yes. So the correct answer is right here. 5 times 2x plus 9. Now, I know that this is really, really difficult, so I'm going to help you with Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll go ahead and pause the video so that you guys can copy down the rest. All right, so number 2 on Tuesday. Let's list the factors of 8. So factors of 8. So just think, what can I multiply to get me 8? I can multiply 1 times 8. And then I can multiply 2 times 4. Can I multiply 3 by anything to get me 8? No. What about 5? No. 6? No. 7? No. 8? Well, I already have that. 1 times 8. Done. Now you list the factors of 4. So what do I multiply to get me 4? 1 times 4, and then 2 times 2. But I don't have to write 2 more than once. Now you ask yourself, what is the biggest number that goes into both of those? Biggest number that goes into both of those. 4 is right here. Okay? Now, that's the number that's going to go outside of my distributive property. So I have 8x plus 4 equals something with parentheses. Now, what's between them? Plus, and you know there has to be a number here, there has to be a number here, there has to be a number here. Now, remember, this one has an x, so you got to put an x right there. Okay. Now, the number that's going to go outside is this common factor of 4. Now, you have to think 4 times what is 8x, and 4 times what is equal to 4. And that's it. Number 2 on Wednesday, just list them. Factors of 14, and then factors of 21. So factors of 14 are 1, 2, 7, and 14. Factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7, 21. The biggest number that goes into both of those is which number? 7. So that's what would go outside of the parentheses. So 7 times something x plus something. And then you just find what those missing numbers are. Now, number 3. Number 3. This one I'm going to go a little fast, guys. So if you need to rewind it and rewatch it, go ahead. It says add 2a plus 8 minus 4b plus 5. Simplify your answer. Wait. Before you start, it says add, but then there's subtraction right here. You have to distribute that negative. So I know that's a little crazy. I know it's a little wild, but there's a -1 right there. And you have to distribute it to everything to the right of it. And I drew 2 arrows because there's 2 terms, okay? Now, is there a negative in front of the first parentheses? Do you guys see a negative or a -1 out here lingering? No. So you can just rewrite it without the parentheses. So I'm going to rewrite it, 2a plus 8. And now I'm going to do -1 times 4b. -1 times 4b is -4b. -1 times 5 is -5. Now, a lot of you guys try to combine all these together, but you can't combine all these because this one has an A, but this one doesn't have an A, this one doesn't have an A, this one doesn't have an A. Therefore, 2a, you got to leave it alone. It's just 2a. Now, look at the next variable. The next variable is b. Are there any other terms here that have b in it? No, so you leave it alone, minus 4b. So just write it, minus 4b. Now, if you look closely, you can combine the 8 and the -5 because they're just constants. They're numbers without letters. So let's combine that. 8 minus 5 is 3. And the bigger number is positive, so positive 3. If you can't see that, let me write it again. So my answer is 2a minus 4b plus 3. If you have more than one variable or letter, always put them in alphabetical order. So that's why I wrote A first, and that's why I wrote B second. For instance, if you had X, Y, Z, you would write the X first, the Y next, and then the Z next. Alphabetical order, and then the last thing you write is the constants or the numbers. All right, Tigers, the nice thing is that on number 3 on Tuesday, there's no negative here, so you can just drop the parentheses and combine like terms. Same with number 3 here. Let's look at the other days. There's no negative here either, and there's no negative here either. What the heck? I didn't even challenge you. Have fun.